Welcome back to my studio. This will be the final demo in this course on loosening up. And as I've already told you earlier, a whole lot of getting looser with your paintings is a mental function. It's getting the attitude of not caring too much about your outcomes. Okay? If you go into your studio or your workspace with the intention that, you know, you've got to paint something wonderful, then that is a lot of pressure to work under. But if you approach it in a looser mental attitude, that you're just going to paint, and maybe you'll finish a painting, and maybe you won't finish a painting, but you're going to paint, and you're going to explore your own creativity. You're going to open up the creative channel within yourself. Okay? The greatest gift I can give to any of you is to help you discover and reveal your own creativity, to bring that forth. That's my number one goal as an instructor. You know, yes, I'm going to teach you about different tools you can use, different supplies and substances, different approaches to painting, you know, strategies and techniques. I'm going to teach you all that. But if I can, my greatest intention is to help you find and express your own creativity. That's number one. All right, so what we're going to do today is, or what I'm going to demonstrate today is just a very, very loose approach to painting. I have a canvas here, I've painted over it. It doesn't matter. You know, we can't get hung up on the details. You don't have to start with a fresh canvas every time. Okay? So don't think you do. I've got my brushes here in some dirty water from the last time I painted. It's not that dirty, so I don't care. Sometimes the water looks dirtier than it is. Anyway, I've got a spray bottle for, you know, because I'm going to be using a lot of water on this painting. That's one of the easiest ways to loosen up your work, is to use more water, to what I call a juicy brush. You know, so let's go ahead and get started. I've also got, what I've done is I have some, this is a bowl, but mostly I'm using these little Dixie cups. I call them Dixie cups. It's probably not a Dixie cup, but little plastic cups to mix my paint up this time. When you're working with more fluid paints, it's better than a palette, in my opinion. Now, I've just covered mine up with some plastic wrap. That works. If you have small containers with lids that you can, you know, seal up your paints with, you know, that's probably even better. But from my experience, sometimes those lids end up getting stuck, you know, from, you know, paint being on them and stuff. So this works well for me too, and I just use that. So I've got some kind of lime green here I made. It's quite a bit of water. I know this is going to run, and I don't care. I expect it to. So I'm just going to start putting it over here. Maybe work it over here a little bit. All right. And as the painting evolves, this needs more water. So I just take my squirt bottle, get another brush. Okay, this paint won't be quite as loose, but I might come in here, you know, let some blending happen right on the canvas. You can scratch into your canvas. And I'm starting with the blues on this. So here's a dark blue. And it's It's a phthalo blue. I'm just going to bring that in here. All right. I'm going to turn my canvas. Now, as our painting evolves, we'll tighten it up some. Okay, meaning that we'll use brushes loaded with paint that's thicker. Okay, less water in it, to get more distinct marks. And you can even come in. You can scribble with you just apply a little bit of pressure. Get the paint to just start to come up. I hope you can see that. See where it just starts to come up out of there. And you can draw with the tube of paint. Okay? You just got to develop a loose attitude. What do I got here? That was, if you need to know what that paint was, it was quinacridone Burnt Orange by Golden. That was an expensive paint. I've found a bunch of paints I didn't even know I had. I've been trying to clean up my studio. All right, so this is Titan Buff, which is kind of it looks like, putty kind of. And I'm going to put some of that in there. Maybe put some of it over here too. Okay, and then I'm going to come back in. And yes, I got that green paint all over the top of this. So the next time I go to open this, it'll probably be difficult to open it, but I've got pliers around here somewhere, so I'm not going to worry about it. And I got a small brush now. Oh, here it is. Yeah, no, I don't want that one. There we go. Here's a good scrub brush. When your brushes get, worn out like this, they're still good. You can still use these. They become a different type of brush. Now this is a scrub brush, and this is a brush I've had for probably 6 or 7 years. It was a kind of an expensive brush, but okay, so now I'm gonna come in here. I'm just moving the paint around. I'm just having a good old time. I don't know where I'm going. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. The most important thing for you, in my opinion as an artist, is to make sure you're having fun when you're working. Because if you're not having fun, I don't see the point in doing it. All right, so I think I'm going to put some white paint in here. So I've got quite a mess going on here. Quite a mess. Come back in with some more blue. Now I'll get some crimson paint here. which to me is just red. And sometimes I'll just take the paint and squeeze it right out on my brush like this. Instead of using a palette, I'll just hold it here and just squeeze it out on my brush. Squeeze some more out there. Get a smaller brush here and some black. I'm going to come in here with some black now. I think I'm going to turn this canvas again. So I've got a very small brush here. This is a stiff brush. And I know I said I was going to use a lot of water, and I started off with a lot of water, but then I changed my mind, and I decided to use thicker paints. But there's so much paint and there's so much water already on the canvas that, you know, it's almost impossible to really tighten up this painting right now. If you let it, you know, if I let it dry, you know, then I could. I'm just getting some marks on here. Let some of the marks go all the way through the painting, you know, so it kind of integrates everything. Working fast is a great way to loosen up. You can't be tight when you're working fast. Getting your whole body, you know, standing up, obviously. You know, mostly just loosening up your mind to explore new possibilities. You know, even if it turns out wrong, you've got to give yourself permission to fail, to have paintings that are like, eh. You know, you've got to allow yourself that and not to worry about it. You know, even if you've been painting for years, so what? Doesn't matter. You know, if you're in the creative process and you're exploring some new ideas, then you are learning. Maybe you're learning what doesn't work, you know, but that's as important as knowing what does work. To find your own creativity takes a lot of courage and a willingness to put yourself out there, as it were. I'm going to come back in with some more of this lime green. I think it needs some lime green. And this is still very wet paint. I think I'm going to rotate this again, maybe this way. Okay. Let this. I really like this color a lot. You're going to find colors that you like, and there's a good chance there'll be colors that you mix yourself, you know, rather than ones that you buy. There's a few colors I like, you know, straight out of the tube or bottle. Quinacridone Gold is one of my favorites. All the quinacridones are pretty nice paints. There's a lot of neutralized colors in this painting, that's for sure. Well, that's kind of cool. I think I like that. And I'm getting it on paintings. I got some paintings laying down here. That's all right. Doesn't matter. You can get carried away with any technique. You can get carried away. Let's step back and see how that looks. Some light blue. Just to lighten up the painting a little bit. Okay, well that concludes this demonstration. I hope you enjoyed it. Until next time, happy painting.